My fiancé said, I want to marry you, but I need one last night with my ex for closure. You understand, right? I said, take all the closure you need. Then I took back the ring, the future, and delivered a revenge she'll never forget. Buckle up, guys, because this story is going to make you angry before it gets satisfying. I'm Jake, 31 male, commercial real estate broker making $165,000 a year plus commission. Not trying to brag, just setting the scene because money becomes important later. I own a house in the suburbs worth about $420,000, drive a BMW M3, and yeah, I've worked my tail off for everything I have. Started in property management right out of college, worked nights and weekends for years building my client base. Spent my 20s grinding while my friends were partying, ate ramen noodles for dinner more times than I care to count, worked doubles to afford my first suit. No trust fund, no handouts, just pure determination and sacrifice. By 28, I'd saved enough to start my own brokerage. Within 2 years, I was pulling in serious money and finally living the life I'd dreamed about. Nice house, nice car, designer clothes that actually fit. I felt like I'd made it, you know? That's the mindset I was in when this whole mess started. That's where I met Sophia, 27 female. 3.5 years ago at some networking event my company hosted. She was working as a marketing coordinator, basically an assistant, at some startup that folded 6 months later. First thing I noticed was how she kept eyeing my watch, a Rolex Submariner I'd bought myself after my first big commission. Not subtle about it either, kept finding excuses to grab my wrist when she laughed at my jokes. She was attractive, I'll give her that. Blonde, fit, knew how to dress and carry herself like she belonged in upscale places. But more importantly, she knew how to make a guy feel like the most important person in the room. Had this way of leaning in when you talked, touching your arm, asking about your work like she genuinely cared. Classic moves, but I was 27 and thinking with the wrong head. Our first date was dinner at this fancy steakhouse downtown. I'm talking $200 for 2 people. Kind of place. She ordered the most expensive thing on the menu without even glancing at prices, then forgot her wallet in her car. Should have been red flag number 1, but she was so apologetic and sweet about it that I didn't mind picking up the tab. The second date, she suggested this wine bar where bottles started at $80. Again with the wallet situation. By the third date, I started to notice a pattern, but by then I was hooked. She had this laugh that made you want to be funnier. This way of looking at you like you were the only man in the world. Plus, I'm not gonna lie, the physical chemistry was off the charts. Within 3 months, she'd basically moved into my place. Started slow. I'll just leave some clothes here, then, my lease is up. Mind if I crash for a few weeks? Few weeks turned into 3 years. She quit her job after a year because it was too stressful, and she wanted to focus on our relationship. Red flags. Man, there were more red flags than a communist parade. But she was good at what she did. Real good. The engagement happened last year. I'm not gonna lie, I went all out. Spent weeks planning the perfect proposal. $15,000 ring from Tiffany's, fancy restaurant overlooking the city, photographer hiding in the bushes, violinist playing her favorite song, the whole Instagram-worthy production. I'd even coordinated with the restaurant to have rose petals scattered on our table. Her reaction was interesting. For about 3 seconds, she looked genuinely surprised and happy. Then, and I kid you not, the first thing she did was grab her phone to take pictures of the ring. Not hug me, not cry tears of joy, not even say yes right away. She literally held her hand up to the light, took about 15 photos from different angles, and immediately started posting to social media. Oh my God, babe, this is perfect. The lighting is amazing here. Can you propose again so I can get a better video? I should have known right then. Should have seen it for what it was. But I was caught up in the moment, and honestly, I was proud. I'd worked hard to afford that ring, that dinner, that whole evening. I wanted to show her off. The wedding planning started immediately. And when I say immediately, I mean she had Pinterest boards ready to go the next morning. Like she'd been planning this wedding long before I proposed. She knew exactly what she wanted. A fairy tale wedding that would look perfect on social media. But here's where it gets really good. We'd been planning this wedding for 8 months. And when I say we, I mean I was writing checks while she planned her fantasy princess day. She treated it like her full-time job, which it basically was since she wasn't working. Venue, $12,000 for a place that looked like a castle. Dress, $3,000 for something she'd wear once. Catering, $18,000 for 150 people who'd eat for 2 hours. Photography, $4,000 because we need someone who understands our vision. Flowers, $2,000 because peonies are totally in season. Music. $1,500 for a DJ who specializes in romantic weddings. Invitations. $800 for cardstock that people would throw away. The list went on and on. Hair, makeup, decorations, favors, transportation. Everything had to be perfect and memorable and Instagram-worthy. Every decision was based on how it would look in photos, not on what we actually wanted or needed. Total budget? $45,000. My money, obviously, since Princess hadn't worked in 2 years. She'd been acting weird the past couple weeks. Secretive phone calls, staying up late, texting her friends, jumping when I walked into the room. I figured it was wedding stress, or maybe she was planning some surprise for me. Last Thursday, we're having dinner at home. Nothing fancy, just some steaks I grilled. She's picking at her food, checking her phone every 30 seconds. Babe, you okay? You've been acting strange lately. She puts down her fork and gets that look. You know the one. The we need to talk look that makes your stomach drop. Jake, I need to tell you something, and I need you to keep an open mind. Open mind. That's code for I'm about to say something that would make any reasonable person run for the hills. Derek reached out to me last week. Derek, her college boyfriend, the guy she dated for 2 years before we met, played guitar in some terrible band called Midnight Regret, or something equally dramatic, sold merchandise to pay rent, basically a walking stereotype of everything I'm not. 5'8", skinny as a rail, had that whole tortured artist thing going on with the messy hair and vintage band t-shirts. Last I heard, he'd moved to Austin and was pursuing his music career, which probably meant serving tables between open mic nights. During our entire relationship, she'd mentioned Derek maybe 5 times total, always in passing, always dismissive. Oh, Derek! That was just a college thing, so immature. I can't believe I wasted 2 years on him. That kind of stuff. Made it sound like she barely remembered the guy existed. We've been talking, she continues, and I swear I can feel my blood pressure rising. Just catching up, you know? But it brought up a lot of unresolved feelings. Unresolved feelings? I'm just repeating her words like an idiot because my brain is trying to process where this conversation is heading. We're supposed to get married in 6 weeks. We've got 150 people coming. Deposits paid. Her dress hanging in our closet upstairs. She nods, looking down at her plate like she's studying the steak for clues. I know it sounds crazy, but talking to him made me realize that things ended so abruptly between us. There was no closure, no real conversation about what went wrong. And now with our wedding coming up, she trails off, but I can see where this is going, and I don't like it. And now you're having second thoughts about us? I ask, trying to keep my voice calm. No. God, no. Jake, I love you. I want to marry you. You're everything Derek isn't. Stable, successful, mature. You treat me like a queen. You've given me this amazing life. She reaches across the table and grabs my hand, and her palm is sweaty. That's when I know this conversation is about to get worse. But I need to know that I'm choosing you for the right reasons. That I'm not just running from my past or settling for security. Settling for security. There's that word again. Like financial stability and emotional maturity are consolation prizes. I think I need to see him one more time before we get married. See him? Spend some time with him. Work through these feelings. Have a real conversation about why things ended the way they did. The way she's not making eye contact is setting off every alarm bell in my head. What kind of conversation, Sophia? She takes this deep breath like she's about to confess to murder. I think I need to sleep with him. Just once. To get it out of my system completely. The steak turned to cardboard in my mouth. I'm sitting there, fork halfway to my face, trying to process what I just heard. You want to be intimate with your ex-boyfriend? It's not like that. It's about closure. I need to know that what we have is real. That I'm not just settling because you're stable and successful. Settling because I'm stable and successful. Let that sink in. You're asking permission to cheat on me 6 weeks before our wedding. It's not cheating if you know about it. It's just one night. One night to close that chapter forever. Then I'll be completely yours. I'm looking at this woman who's been living in my house, driving the car I leased for her, wearing the ring I bought, planning a wedding I'm paying for, and she's asking me if she can go be intimate with the guy who probably hasn't showered since the Obama administration. You know what, Sophia? You're absolutely right. You should get all the closure you need. Her face lights up like she just won the lottery. Really? You understand? Completely. When were you thinking? This weekend? He's in town for some gigs. Perfect. You should definitely go. She's practically bouncing in her chair now, talking about how mature I am, how this proves we're meant to be together, how much stronger our relationship will be after this. I'm nodding and smiling while my brain starts working overtime. After Sophia went to bed that night, practically skipping with excitement about her upcoming closure session, I did what any guy with half a brain would do. I started digging. See, one advantage of working in commercial real estate is that you learn how to investigate properties, verify information, and spot red flags. You develop an instinct for when someone's lying about square footage, when inspection reports are hiding problems, when financial statements don't add up. And Sophia, bless her heart, wasn't exactly a master of covering her tracks. I started with her behavior over the past few weeks. The late-night phone calls she claimed were with her book club. The mysterious errands that took 3 hours. The way she'd positioned her laptop screen away from me when I walked into rooms. The new passwords on her phone. The sudden interest in working out again after months of Netflix and takeout. First stop, her laptop. She'd left it open on the couch, still logged into everything. Her Facebook, Instagram, email, even her Amazon account. For someone who was supposedly trying to hide something, she was remarkably careless about digital security. Her text chain with Derek went back 3 weeks. 3 weeks she'd been planning this behind my back, and the messages told a story that made my stomach turn. 3 weeks ago. Derek. Holy shit, is this really Sophia? Sophia. Hey, stranger, miss me? Derek. Every damn day. How's the boyfriend? Sophia. Fiancée, actually. Wedding's next month. Derek. Congrats, I guess. He treating you right? Sophia. He's fine, safe, boring, nothing like you. 2 weeks ago. Derek. Can't stop thinking about you. About us. Sophia. I know. I think about those nights in your apartment all the time. Derek. Remember that time we snuck onto the roof of your dorm? Sophia. Stop. You're making me nostalgic. Derek. I've got some shows coming up in your area. Would be nice to see you. Sophia. I'd like that. Jake travels for work sometimes. 1 week ago. Derek. Can't wait to see you again. It's been too long. Sophia. I know. I've missed this so much. Derek. Does he know? Sophia. Not yet, but he will. He's so understanding about everything. Derek. Lucky me, same hotel as before? Sophia. Actually, can you get something nicer? I'm used to better now. Same hotel as before. Before. Meaning this wasn't the first time. This conversation was talking about previous encounters like they were regular occurrences. I kept scrolling, found messages from 2 months ago, and 4 months ago, going back almost a year. This wasn't some sudden emotional crisis. She'd been seeing this guy behind my back for months. But wait, it gets better. Derek, bring that thing I like. Sophia, the lingerie, already packed? Derek, and maybe some of that expensive stuff from your boy's kitchen. Sophia, Lowell, he won't even notice. Too busy working. My imported coffee beans. $200 worth I'd been saving for special occasions. This woman had been stealing my premium coffee to impress her side piece. The real kicker was buried deeper in their conversations. Screenshots. Screenshots of my bank statements, my investment portfolio, photos of my house, my cars, even my watch collection. Derek. Dang, your meal ticket's loaded. Sophia. I know, right? And he's so easy to manipulate. Thinks he's getting a prize, but he's just a bank account with a male appendage. A bank account with a male appendage. 3.5 years together. A $15,000 ring. A $45,000 wedding. And I'm a bank account with a male appendage. But the absolute best part, and by best I mean the part that made me want to throw her laptop through the window, was this exchange from last week. Derek. So after this weekend you're really going through with the wedding? Sophia. Obviously. Do you know how much money this guy makes? I'll be set for life. Plus his family has money too. I'm not walking away from that for some broke musician. Derek. Harsh. Sophia. It's realistic. You're fun. But Jake's my retirement plan. This is just me getting the last bit of fun out of my system before I'm locked down. Retirement plan. 3.5 years of my life, and I'm her retirement plan. I took screenshots of everything, saved them to a secure folder. Then I started making some calls. See, one thing about being successful in commercial real estate, you know people. And some of those people know other people. And some of those people have interesting skill sets. My buddy Jason runs a digital marketing agency. He's also the kind of guy who knows how to make information disappear from the internet, or appear when it shouldn't. Jake, it's 2 a.m., man. I need a favor, and I need it to stay between us. What kind of favor? I told him everything. Sent him the screenshots. By the time I was done, he was wide awake. Holy cow, dude. She's been playing you this whole time. Yeah, I figured that out. Question is, what am I going to do about it? What do you want to do about it? That's when the plan started forming. Friday morning, Sophia was practically floating around the house. She'd already picked out her outfit for her closure weekend. A new dress I'd never seen before that probably cost more than most people make in a week. Red, form-fitting, definitely not something you wear to have a conversation about your past. I'm so nervous, she said, checking herself in the mirror for the 10th time. But also excited. This is going to be so good for us. After this weekend, I'll never have any doubts about you being the one. I'm sure it will be, I said, sipping my coffee and watching her primping routine like I was watching a nature documentary about predators preparing for a hunt. She'd booked herself a spa appointment for the afternoon. To prepare mentally, she said, mani-pedi, facial, something called a hydrating body wrap. With my credit card, naturally. Because apparently you need professional beauty treatments to have an honest conversation with your ex-boyfriend. I want to look my best when I see Derek, she explained. Not for him, obviously, but for me. I want to feel confident when I tell him that you're my choice. Right. That's exactly what someone wears a new red dress and gets a bikini wax for. Confident conversation. After she left for her spa day, I made my move. I had about 6 hours to set everything up, and I was going to need every minute. First call was to Derek's hotel. I'd found the booking confirmation in her email. The Marriott downtown, room 412. Not exactly the Four Seasons, but a step up from his usual Fleabag motels. When I called, I told them I was Derek Morrison and needed to change my reservation to the penthouse suite for special romantic purposes. Sir, that's an additional $400 per night for the penthouse. Not a problem. I want everything to be perfect for my lady. Charge it to my card ending in 4529. One of my business cards that Sophia didn't know about. The one I used for actual business expenses, because this was definitely a business expense now. The hotel clerk was more than happy to accommodate. Apparently, they get requests like this all the time. Guys trying to impress women with fancy hotel rooms. They even offered to set up some romantic extras for an additional fee. We have a romance package that includes champagne, chocolate-covered strawberries, rose petals, candles, the works. Very popular with couples. Perfect. And can you arrange for a custom cake to be delivered as well? Certainly, sir. What's the occasion? It's a retirement celebration. How lovely. What would you like the cake to say? Congratulations on your retirement. Make it big. Gold letters. Spare no expense. Third call was to my attorney. She's handled my business contracts for years, and she's tougher than nails when she needs to be. Jake, what can I do for you? I need to know my options for a prenup that's already been signed. What kind of options? The kind that kick in when your fiancé commits adultery. Oh, honey, what has she done? I sent her the screenshots. All of them. Well, my attorney said after reviewing everything, this is going to be fun. First thing, don't cancel anything yet. Let her keep digging her hole. Second, I'm going to draw up some documents. And third, you might want to talk to your accountant about protecting your assets. Fourth call was to my accountant. I need to move some money around. Quietly. How quietly? The kind of quietly where if someone tried to claim half of everything in a divorce, they'd find out half of nothing is still nothing. I'll make some calls. The beauty of having good professionals is that they ask the right questions and don't judge. By noon, my assets were being shuffled into trusts and LLCs that would make a forensic accountant cry. But the real masterpiece was my call to Derek himself. I'd found his number in Sophia's phone. He answered on the third ring. Hello? Derek? This is Jake, Sophia's fiancé. Dead silence. Look, man, I know what's been going on, and I want you to know I'm cool with it. You... what? Sophia told me about your history, about her need for closure. I think it's mature of her to be honest about it. She told you? Everything. Look, I love her, and if this is what she needs to be happy, then I support it. I even upgraded your hotel room to the penthouse suite. You did what? Consider it a wedding gift. From one man to another, I respect that you want to give her a proper goodbye. I could practically hear his brain trying to process this. Thanks? I guess. Just promise me you'll make it special for her. She deserves the best. Yeah, sure, man. This is really cool of you. I'm a pretty understanding guy. Oh, and Derek? Make sure you order room service. I set up an account. Get whatever you want. After I hung up, I sat back and smiled. Because Derek, bless his simple little heart, had no idea what he'd just agreed to. Saturday morning, Sophia was a nervous wreck. She'd changed clothes 3 times, redone her makeup twice, and was pacing around the house like a caged animal. Are you sure you're okay with this? She asked for the 5th time. We can call it off if you're having second thoughts. Babe, you need this. I understand that. Go get your closure. She threw her arms around me, practically crying with gratitude. You're amazing. I'm so lucky to have found someone so secure and understanding. Secure and understanding. If she only knew. What time are you meeting him? 6. We're having dinner first then. She blushed like a schoolgirl. Then you're getting your closure. Perfect. She left at 4 p.m., pulling out of my driveway in the BMW I'd been letting her drive. I watched her go, then pulled out my phone. Jason? It's time. You sure about this, man? Never been more sure of anything in my life. At 5:30, Jason and I were set up in a coffee shop across from the Marriott with a perfect view of the lobby. We had cameras, laptops, and a plan. At 6:15, we watched Sophia walk into the hotel. She was wearing the new dress, carrying an overnight bag, looking like she owned the place. At 6:20, my phone buzzed with a text from Derek. Dude, this suite is insane. Thanks again. At 6:25, I got a text from Sophia. Just got here. Thank you for being so amazing about this. Love you. At 8 p.m., the room service I'd ordered was delivered to the penthouse. Champagne, strawberries, and one very special cake. At 8:15, my phone rang. Derek, what the heck, man? Problem? This cake. What kind of game are you playing? No game. Just celebrating Sophia's retirement from being single. Retirement from... Wait, what? I hung up. At 8:20, Sophia called. Jake, what is this cake supposed to mean? Just a little inside joke between us girls. Don't you remember our conversation about retirement plans? Silence. Jake, having fun with your closure session? Getting everything out of your system? I think there's been a misunderstanding. The only misunderstanding is that you thought I was stupid. I hung up. At 8:30, both of their phones started buzzing nonstop, because that's when Jason launched phase 2 of the plan. What Jason had done was beautiful in its simplicity. Using Sophia's own social media accounts, which she'd left logged in on her laptop, he'd created a post that tagged everyone in her contact list. The post was a photo collage. Screenshots of her and Derek's text conversations. Pictures of them together from previous hotel visits that I'd found on her phone. Bank statements showing the money she'd spent on her side piece. And right in the center, a photo of her walking into the Marriott that Jason had taken an hour earlier. The caption read, "When your fiancé is so understanding that he pays for your last fling before the wedding. Thanks, Jake, for being such a supportive meal ticket. Closure. Sorry. Not sorry. Last night. Retirement." Within 10 minutes, it had 50 comments. Within an hour, it had been shared 200 times. Her phone was blowing up so fast she couldn't keep up with the notifications. Comments from her family, my family, our mutual friends, her coworkers, everyone. Her mom. Sophia Marie. What is this? Her sister. Are you out of your mind? My mom. Well, this explains a lot. My brother. Bro dodged a bullet. Our wedding photographer. Should I still show up next month? The best ones were from her prissy socialite friends. OMG girl, what were you thinking? I could never do this to my man. This is so embarrassing. Jake is such a catch. Why would you throw this away? But the absolute masterpiece was when Derek started commenting, wait, she's getting married? She told me they broke up. She's been playing both of us, man. This chick is crazy, I'm out. At 9 p.m., Sophia called me crying hysterically. Jake, please, it's not what it looks like. It looks like you're in a hotel room with your ex-boyfriend after lying to me for months. It was just closure. You said you understood. I understand perfectly. You've been seeing Derek behind my back for almost a year while planning to marry me for my money. Very clear picture. That's not... How did I find out? Sophia, you left your laptop open with all your messages. You sent him screenshots of my bank statements. You called me a meal ticket and a bank account with a mail appendage. Sobbing. Ugly, desperate sobbing. Jake, please, I can explain everything. It's not what you think. It's exactly what I think. Which is why the wedding's canceled. You're moving out, and you're going to need legal representation. A lawyer? Why would I need a lawyer? This was the moment I'd been waiting for. Because my attorney found some interesting clauses in that prenup you signed. Turns out adultery voids pretty much everything. No alimony, no settlement, no claim to any assets acquired during our relationship. But I never signed a prenup. Sure you did. Remember that stack of papers you signed when we got engaged? Property agreements, insurance beneficiaries, all that boring stuff you didn't want to read? Silence. You tricked me. I protected myself. There's a difference. You can't do this to me. I have nowhere to go. Sure you do. Derek's right there. I'm sure he'll take care of you now that you're free. He already left. He said this was too crazy and he didn't want any part of it. Poor Derek. Finally figured out he was just a pawn in someone else's game. That's unfortunate. You should probably come get your stuff. I'll have it on the lawn by tomorrow morning. Jake, please, I'm begging you. I'll do anything. I'll go to therapy. I'll never talk to Derek again. I'll sign whatever you want. You already signed what I wanted. It was the prenup. I love you. This was just a mistake. You love my bank account, and now you don't have access to it anymore. I hung up. Sunday morning, I had a yard sale. Not advertising it as one, just Sophia's stuff spread out on my front lawn with a sign that said, "Free Cheaters Belongings." Her designer clothes, jewelry, shoes, handbags, everything I'd bought her over 3.5 years. Gone in 2 hours. My neighbors were more than happy to help themselves. My neighbor from next door got a $2,000 Chanel bag. Always thought that girl was trouble, she said, stuffing it with her groceries. Sophia showed up around noon with her sister Lindsay and her mom. They pulled up in Lindsay's minivan just as my neighbor from down the street was walking away with Sophia's Louis Vuitton luggage set. "Jake!" Sophia screamed, jumping out of the van. "Where are my things?" "Your things? You mean the things I bought you with my money? I donated them to people who might appreciate them." Her mom stepped forward. Classic Karen haircut, fake tan, the works. "Young man, you cannot just throw away someone's belongings. I can throw away my belongings any way I want. Those are my daughter's things. Check the receipts, my credit card, my purchases, my property." Sophia was crying again, but this time it was angry crying. "You're being vindictive. I'm being practical. You're not living here anymore, so you don't need this stuff. Where am I supposed to go? Not my problem. You should have thought about that before you decided to be intimate with your ex-boyfriend." Lindsay tried to play peacemaker. "Look, Jake, we know Sophia made a mistake, but this is cruel." "Know what's cruel? Finding out your fiancé thinks you're just a bank account with a male appendage? Know what's cruel? Planning to take half of everything I've worked for while seeing someone else behind my back." Sophia's mom's face went pale. She wouldn't do that. I pulled out my phone and showed them the screenshots. All of them. The silence was deafening. Finally, her mom turned to her daughter. "Sophia Marie, is this true?" More crying. Ugly, snotty, mascara-running crying. "It's not. It wasn't supposed to. I never meant. Yes or no? Did you say these things about Jake?" "I was just venting. I didn't mean it." Her mom slapped her. Right there in my driveway. A proper old-school mother's slap that echoed off the garage. "You stupid, stupid girl. Do you have any idea what you've thrown away? Mom, this man gave you everything. A beautiful home, a good life, respect, and you threw it away for what? Some loser with a guitar?" Lindsay was nodding along. "Sophia, what were you thinking? Jake's a catch." It was almost sad watching the family dynamics play out. Almost. "I can fix this," Sophia wailed. "Jake, please, just give me a chance to fix this." "There's nothing to fix. It's over." "But the wedding, all those people, the deposits." "Your problem now. Better start making some phone calls." That's when she tried a different approach. She walked up to me, put her hand on my chest, gave me those big doe eyes that used to work. "Baby, you know I love you. This was just cold feet. Every bride gets cold feet. Cold feet don't text screenshots of bank statements to their ex-boyfriends." I was confused. "You make me feel so safe and secure that I took it for granted. But I know now. I know you're the one I want." She was good. I'll give her that. If I didn't have evidence of her calling me a meal ticket, I might have almost believed her. "Sophia, even if I wanted to forgive you, which I don't, there's a practical problem." "What problem?" "You're broke." "What do you mean?" "I mean you have no job, no savings, no assets, and no legal claim to any of mine. You're literally broke." "But I can get a job." "With what skills?" "You haven't worked in 2 years." "I have a degree. In communications. From a state school. With a 2.7 GPA. The family was looking at her like they were seeing her for the first time. "Jake, please." Her mom stepped forward. "What would it take for you to reconsider?" Sophia's learned her lesson. With respect, your daughter spent 3 years lying to me about who she is. This isn't about learning lessons. This is about character. Everyone makes mistakes. Mistakes are forgetting to pay the electric bill. This was a calculated deception that lasted years. That's when Sophia played her last card. "Fine. You want to throw me away? Good luck finding someone else who'll put up with your boring self. You're not that great of a catch. You're awkward and you work too much and you have no idea how to have fun." And there it was. The real Sophia. "You're probably right," I said. "But I'm an awkward, boring, wealthy guy who now knows what to look for in a prenup." They left after that. Sophia was still crying. Her mom was lecturing her. And Lindsay was shaking her head. 3 weeks later, I got a call I wasn't expecting. "Jake?" "It's Sophia. Please don't hang up." I almost did, but curiosity won. What do you want? I need your help. With what? I'm in trouble. Real trouble. Turns out Sophia's problems were just beginning. After our breakup, she'd moved back in with her parents. But the social media post had done more damage than just embarrassing her. Her mom worked at a high-end boutique where a lot of wealthy women shopped. Women who'd seen the post. Women who no longer wanted to do business with anyone associated with that cheating girl. Her mom got fired. Lindsay was a real estate agent whose business depended on referrals and reputation. When your sister becomes local social media infamous for trying to scam a rich guy, it affects your credibility. But the real kicker? Derek wasn't as broke as I'd thought. Turns out his music career was actually pretty successful. He'd been building a following online, had some sponsorship deals, even a small record contract. And he was upset about being dragged into Sophia's mess. His attorneys had sent her a cease and desist order. Apparently, sharing their private conversations and photos without consent violated several privacy laws. He was threatening to sue her for defamation and emotional distress. Jake, he wants $50,000 or he's taking me to court. That sucks. I don't have $50,000. I don't have $500. You know I don't have any money. So get a job. I've been trying. But everywhere I apply, they Google my name and find that post. No one wants to hire me. The post was still up, by the way. Sophia had tried to delete it, but Jason had made sure it was cached and screenshotted all over the internet. The Streisand effect in full swing. Sophia, I'm not sure why you're calling me about this. Because you're the only person I know who has money. There it was. Even now, even after everything, I was still just a bank account to her. You want me to pay your legal bills? I'll pay you back. I swear. I'll get a job and pay you back. With what collateral? What do you mean? I mean, what are you putting up as security for this loan? Your car? Oh, wait. That was my lease and I canceled it. Your jewelry? Oh, wait. I bought all that and it's in my neighbor's jewelry box now. Your house? Oh, wait. You don't have one. Jake, please, you know me. You know I'm good for it. I know you're a liar who spent 3 years planning to marry me for my money while seeing your ex-boyfriend. That's what I know. I'm desperate. My family won't help me anymore. Derek won't return my calls. I have nowhere else to turn. And that's when I realized this was bigger than just revenge. This was justice. Tell you what, Sophia. I'll help you. Really? I'll pay Derek's settlement. All of it. Oh my God, Jake, thank you. I knew you still cared about me. But there are conditions. Anything. What do you want? First, you're going to admit publicly that everything in those messages was true. That you were using me for money and cheating on me. Okay, if that's what it takes. Second, you're going to apologize to my family, your family, and everyone who was invited to our wedding for wasting their time. Okay. Third, you're going to get a job. A real job. And you're going to work for a full year before I give you a penny. A year? Jake, the lawsuit won't wait a year. That's your problem to figure out. That's impossible. I need the money now. Then I guess you better find another solution. There is no other solution. You're my only option. Funny how that works out. I could hear her crying on the other end of the phone. Jake, please, I'm begging you. I'll do anything. Anything? Yes, anything. Post a video on the same social media accounts where you explain exactly what you did, why it was wrong, and apologize to everyone involved. Include my family in that apology. Make it genuine. And then you'll help me? Then I'll consider it. She hung up on me. 2 days later, the video appeared on her Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. 12 minutes of her crying and apologizing, admitting to everything, taking full responsibility. It was actually pretty pathetic. My phone rang that evening. I did it. I posted the video. Now will you help me? Sophia, I've given this a lot of thought. And I've decided not to help you. What? But you promised. I said I'd consider it. I considered it. The answer is no. You son of a gun. You made me humiliate myself for nothing. You humiliated yourself when you decided to cheat on me and lie about it for years. I just gave you an opportunity to tell the truth for once. I hope you rot in heck. Maybe. But I'll rot in heck with all my money. I hung up and blocked her number.